Welcome to our channel, or your channel. We are recently recovering after sickness. We were having quite high temperatures, we were having cough and so on. And it wouldn't be different in case we wouldn't have any experiences after Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreat, and if Raphael didn't try his out-of-body experiences with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations.
Yeah, like there's this common understanding that after you go to a Dr. Joe retreat that you might end up with having Dispenza influenza, they call it. That you would just have like a upregulation of your nervous system and your body has to flush out a lot of past stuff and toxins, and can end up with a fever and so on. But I probably caught that virus somewhere just like 2 weeks after retreat.
It's opportunistic viruses, so you know that they had opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. So I must have caught it somewhere. It was a normal virus, a normal flu. It took about a week to recover.
It looked like a flu, right? But it started immediately after you did the meditation.
It was quite humbling for me because I was starting to play with the out-of-body experience after the Dr. Joe retreat, and I think I was overdoing it quite a lot. I really wanted to have this experience in every meditation. I would imagine that I'm moving away from my body, and then I listened to a podcast from some guy that talks about outer-body experience and remote viewing. I'll share the link of that Joe Rogan podcast in the description. I don't know his name now, but he shared how a friend of his just is able to roll out of his body. He basically becomes aware of all the cells and the process in his body, the blood flow and the breathing, how it's slowing down, and then he just rolls out as a consciousness of the body. And I was doing a meditation that day, and I just laid down, and I also imagined rolling out, and my body was having an intense reaction, was shaking a lot, and it felt to me like the body saying, no, you're not going anywhere, you're staying right here. Body didn't want me to leave. But
you can explain to our people, or you, why did you want to have out-of-body experience?
So it was a very intense experience, and just a few hours later I started to get this really bad fever.
But why did you want to have
And I wanted to do it because I realized I did it with an ego motivation. I wanted to have this experience, being able to have my eyes closed, be somewhere and move around in a different place, and being able to perceive everything that's happening. Like basically I could be here and then I could go to somebody else's home in another country and I could see what they're doing, for example. And I did this purely out of ego motivation. You know, I wanted to be known as the magician, or oh, he's able to do that, so I could show people, you know, how good I am.
I was also surprised.
Or how, like, doing a remote viewing, that somebody says, yeah, I have here something in a box, and then I move in that box and I'm able to say what it is exactly, so I could impress people. So it was purely ego motivated, and I think that's why I had the fever. That's why I was going through this flu, and I had to learn how important it is to also be in the body. I was just kind of treating it as something unnecessary, like whatever, I'll do meditation and I get out and I do my thing.
But
I'm more than my body.
Your girlfriend came and asked you a few questions, right? She was curious why you're having sickness. Why do you need that, right?
Yeah, and
that's me.
And I'm very interested in these alchemists, and I read the books from them or listen to the audiobooks. And whenever there's an alchemist in a story, it's always the most humble person.
Yeah.
They are not interested in showing off their skills, even though they're super powerful and they can literally create miracles. They can turn metal into gold and other things. They can heal somebody. They can be much older than we are now believed to be able to live. But they always try to blend in as much as possible with society. They want to be seen as normal as possible. They don't want to be acknowledged like, oh, it's the magician, it's the witch. And I find that inspiring, because I was trying to do the opposite thing. I was trying to do it for recognition, and that is never a pure intention.
I want to say also that in case you do some inner work, if you do Dr. Joe's meditations or any kind of transformational work with your body, and you are a woman or you are having woman in your life, don't wonder, be a little careful about it, because they will have a cycle changes. Like me, for example, you know, I also was sick. I have cycle changes. I have it a little bit differently now. Somebody can have period earlier, somebody later, and it's totally part of the process. So be aware of that too, because it's very big impact on our body. We don't even know it with our mind, with our consciousness, but there is some subtle changes happening to our body already. And you know, and when I had the little feverish dreams, sort of, I actually was a little bit fighting with it, because I wasn't happy with having this too, because Raphael started with his sickness and I cared for him 4 days. We had no idea what it is, and it was quite high temperatures. And then I got it too in 4 days or 5 days. And I was a little upset about it, and I had a tendency to be a bit more aggressive towards the process, and like I hate it, you know, I am angry that I have this, and
I
so
also
on.
get really upset when
Yeah.
I get contaged.
Yeah,
When I get it from somebody else, I'm super upset about it.
Yeah, so angry, and then I realized I can't be angry with my body. My body's doing the best it can, right? So I immediately said, okay, I'll not be angry at all.
And it's
because of
already
my
here.
body.
It's already, the
Yeah.
process already started.
And when I started to have a little bit of states of that the body had to lay down only, I couldn't do anything, I was extremely tired, and I was in this higher temperatures, as Dr. Joe used to say, that he used to love fevers when he was a little kid, because he could tap into these frequencies a little bit easier, to the different dimensions maybe, or you know it, when you have a fever you have a weird dreams.
Psychedelic.
Yeah. And I had a little state like that of bliss. You know, I was just laying there for 10 minutes. I think it didn't take longer in this reality, longer than 10 minutes. And I just listened to some music, and I just had this blissful state, and I allowed me to have blissful state while I was sick. So try it yourself, and if you will have some problems with your body,
Try it yourself. What, the fever?
no, when they will have sickness or something,
Yeah.
they can just lay and
Open up for this.
open up for some bliss in there, because I was working like crazy when we were traveling to Dr. Joe's event. Then we came back, and I had like really huge pile of clothes which I had to wash, and you know, then you have to put it to dryer, and here in Europe we don't have good dryers, so we have to hang it extra and fold it, and it was in my mother's way, and we had so many things. It took like 10 days to finish everything. And then I started to work towards Christmas and so on, and my body needed to stop. My body needed to process and stop. So I knew that I can't stop, and my body did it for me. And it's not good when we don't know when to stop and the body has to do it for us. We should be conscious enough to stop and do it for our body, for our life.
Or as partners, we can already recognize sooner that the other person is overdoing it and needs to rest. So we can also tell them, and they can be open to receive it.
So I overdo it with work, and he does it with thinking and planning. For example, now he was planning trip to Switzerland and what he's going to buy, and he was going on internet with me and showing me everything what he's going to purchase and so on, and I'm like, hey, just don't go to that store at all, like just chill, guy. You don't have to do everything all at once before Christmas, you know, you just don't have to. And and it's really hard to give up this program.
Yes.
For me, it's really hard to give up. You know, I'm in the middle of cleaning, and then there's like something which needs to be fixed, and then it's all done, and my brain sees the finish, and I have to stop.
And I say, sweetie, have a rest, sit down, lay down.
And it's it's just always the same thing. And you know it for yourself where you can't stop, and you just know that you have to finish something or do something, and we don't have to. Then we get sick and we don't have to. And
also something that stood out to me a lot with these alchemists is that they always take tremendously good care of their bodies. It is so important for them that they eat well, that they take the medicine or the herbs, and they really care for their bodies to keep them in a as positive and good state and healthy state as possible. And I sometimes don't treat my body really well. I'm like, it's just a tool in this lifetime, but no, it is actually also the tool that we need for our spiritual evolution. That's something that I needed to learn, or that I need to learn, that we really need this body, because in that audiobook that I'm listening to, The Initiate from Cyril Scott, I understood it the way that they said, after we die, we don't just pass on like into the heavens and it's all blissful and we continue our spiritual evolution, but it's kind of like where we left off in life, that's where we will stay also in the ethereal world, and when we have the next reincarnation we will kind of continue where we left off. But we need our bodies for our evolution. It's so important, so it makes perfect sense to take good care of it.
Yes.
To respect it. And I also did some meditations then during that flu, that I really arrived in my body and I embodied it fully, instead of still, I'm going out.
Yeah, I don't want to be here in the body, but I'm not even able to be fully in the body, right?
Yes.
So we kind of talked about it and analyzed it a little bit together, because you always have to learn as you are also learning in your process, that you always have to see what you are in. It's much better and easier for you then to realize where you have to move and what you have to do to fix something, or what you have to leave to fix something, right? I was just listening to some Czech people who healed incredible diseases. They had like a morphine 3 times a day. And this lady was on a wheelchair, couldn't walk, and she was in a hospital, and she was taking that for a year. And her doctor ordered a dose of morphine for her next full year already. She wanted to make sure that she will have her morphine. And then this lady realized, had some insight, that she can change. She can just be healthy. She healed. Just one day. She healed. She started to walk.
Yes.
And it was like, I really want to investigate more about this case and much more cases, because there is one person who shares a lot of these cases, because he is like an actor in my country, and he collects these people and he shares about these people and their stories, and he invites them for interviews. And people absolutely love this, and people really want to inspire from that. And I heard so many stories like this outside of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and outside of any work. Just people realize it. They just let it flow. They have some window between the automatic robotic program we live in and themselves, and then the universe.
Some realization.
Yeah.
And I just remember now also the woman that we met in Malta during the week long, and she said, my gosh, after meditation she was laughing and giggling.
After healing, we were sitting in a ballroom after healing.
And she was like, oh my gosh, guys, it's just, it doesn't even exist. The disease doesn't exist. She had cancer, but she doesn't have it anymore now. And she feels it, and it's just an illusion.
It's an illusion. She was absolutely 1,000,000,000% convinced that it's an illusion. The cancer is illusion and everything. And I kind of understood, and it didn't really make sense for me, for my brain. But brain could think, but heart knows.
But I then also read in the Dr. Joe community group that a little girl made up the hiccup experiment, where she was just saying, hey, whenever I have a hiccup, I'm just going to say this is not real. this doesn't exist. And she said it always stops in that moment. So during the sickness, I also tried, this doesn't exist, this isn't real. I don't know, something to play with. But I think what you were sharing, that woman, she had just like a little glimpse, like she pierced something, and she could immediately change her life in one instant.
You know that one on the wheelchair?
No, I meant the one with the morphine.
That one.
Okay,
it was
yeah.
on the wheelchair. Yeah. It's she's quite known. I don't really know her name, but he already talked about her for a few times when he had some presentation, and she also was invited somewhere, and she of course shares this, and she teaches people how to do this, and it's just easy. It's just a decision, realization that it's not real, and I have a choice. Right? I have choice to choose my future me look differently than my present or past. But the funny thing is that when you get into this work, you think that you are changing your present situation, your body and so on. But by changing your body and present situation, you are changing also your future and your past as well. Because you can't never go to your past the way you used to go there when you before you healed or something. You just know that you go there, and a lot of people who had this healing experience, which was very intense, they say that everything what happened in their past, it was worthy, and they wouldn't change a thing, even though they were going through very, very violent, abusive pasts. And they said it was like their path, and now it's gone, and they would never ever change it for anything else. This feeling what they have now, they would never trade it for any other feeling in the world. So that's
is a common pattern about around people that healed. And I feel like if we already know that this is going to be the end result, that we will get to that point where we realize, wow, I wouldn't change one thing that happened in my life, then we don't even need to feel regret now or wonder what would be differently if this didn't happen. We just know that everything had to be exactly the way it was. And because there will be that moment when we realize, wow, it was all worth it. It brought me here.
Yeah, I think we all have these moments all the time, but they are like overdriven, overridden, or I don't know how to express it, with a lot of 3D things like visual and sound things and words and sentences, and the mind is trying to make sense of it. But when you stay alone in a calmness, in peace, without your phone, somewhere without a music, and you have to listen to yourself and maybe to the sounds of nature or to the forest, then you will know that something will come towards you, some information, which is yours, right? And that's where the healing can occur. It can't never occur in a loud environment. And, when you are constantly looking into the screen and donating your life to the system.
That. Yeah. How could you heal when you're in that?
Yeah.
I was just thinking...
When you study about the diet, which you are supposed to have because you want to improve it, like me.
And obsessing about it, right?
Yeah, like me.
Oh
10
no,
years
I
ago.
make a mistake, and I ate
me.
something I shouldn't, and it's just having the opposite effect. The other day it came to me that meditation became such a popular tool nowadays. It became trendy, everybody does meditation.
It's
even
approved
my brother,
by society.
And,
even your brother does.
Yes, he meditates. He told me he has an app. He's a very, very organized person. Whenever he goes traveling, he has an Excel sheet saying exactly where they will be at what time, and everything is booked in advance. And he said, he has his application. He knows exactly what meditation to do when, and how long. And I was super surprised about him because we never talked about these things, but it became something very trendy.
Everybody has to do this.
And it came to me that it's like the perfect antidote for the toxin that we are giving to ourselves every single day with our smartphones, with constantly scrolling, with being on social media all the time. it is basically giving us a toxin into our system. We are ruining our brain, you know, the way it works. We are training it to be behaving very incoherently, and the meditation is like the antidote that we have to take every day.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you have fever, you can't be on your phone. It's just too much for the body to be on your phone. You don't have energy to donate to the phone. You just have to put everything away, and you just have to be with yourself. And it's really, really interesting process, really valuable process. And I would never, if there is no reason, I wouldn't put temperature down. If there is no extreme danger or something, I would just let the body process it. It's the most healthy thing you can do, because you can just let the body and its immune system, you know, process it the way it is meant to be, and activate everything what needs to be activated inside of your body.
Petra let the fever completely run on its own. I was taking ibuprofen 3 times because it still came back towards the evening. It got much hotter.
We were worried because it was quite high with you.
Yeah.
It was over 39.
And also I felt really bad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really eat. Didn't really feel like eating, and after I took ibuprofen I was also able to eat more, which is also beneficial.
Sometimes it's good to take some little tiny helper.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this thing. It's a miracle.
It's great to take it if in case the body suffers too much. You know, when I had COVID cough for 4 months, I could also take some relief, but I didn't know what could help for cough. But anyways, in case I would go too long with this fevers, I would also take it.
And I was saying to Petra, oh my gosh, it's like a miracle. And she said, no, it's not a miracle, it's a chemical.
Yeah.
And we were discussing a little bit that, yes, it's true, the ibuprofen is the chemical of the reaction that we want to have in our body. And every time something changes in our body, something physiologically changes, it's because of a chemical that usually has been manufactured inside the body. But we can also take medicine and it will do the same thing. And most of the time we try to work with supplements and herbs and mushrooms, and those, I understood, they're not the chemicals, they don't create the end result, but the intention behind taking is that we will create the right chemicals that can then heal our bodies. But the medication is just the end result.
We really support our body when we are having some sickness. It's great to take bigger doses, like really big doses of turkey tail, and combine it with vitamin C, but in natural form, like acerola or so. Don't take ascorbic acid, it's not good. Vitamin C, it's a chemical. And I wanted to mention about the removing of the toxins of the body. Now I'm realizing, because lately with this fever I was changing my pajamas like 10 times, and basically a few times a day I was changing it, and I had to go to shower all the time because I was smelling some toxins coming out of me. Like after the retreat, it's very strange, my body does it all the time when I take some herbs and supplements, that my body removes a lot of toxins, and you can smell that it's like weird to smell. But this maybe the retreat also supported some detoxification process, or I don't know. So who knows, but I could really know that there was something like really necessary to flush.
It is true that the process that we go through during a week long, or just simply meditating at home, it is such a tremendous effect on the body. And when we are working with these energies that are way bigger than our bodies, our physical bodies, then I'm also not surprised that I could get an intense fever from going a little bit in the wrong direction. If I play with something that is bigger than me, if I play with these powers, why wouldn't my body have a reaction like this? It's absolutely understandable. So, and we need to be respectful of that we are slowly working ourselves to greater degree of seeing and seeing reality and the truth.
Yeah, we all have our own path, which we have to like our river of change, right? But nobody told you that when you overcome one river of change, there's gonna be another one.
Yes, we don't usually talk about
It
that one.
basically has to be your passion to be basically a river
River
of change
crosser.
sailor or
Yeah.
crosser, because that's the
constant.
thing. Yeah, and if you don't want to do that, you can stay stuck in there, but then something is gonna be slapping you left and right, and you will
Exactly.
already know what's going to slap you next, because you know you will be so predictable. You will already know your reality so well, so it's time for you to move on as well. If you know already what's going to happen in your life, it's time to change, right? So yeah, it was quite a ride, I have to say, and we couldn't be even online, or we couldn't do anything.
In 2 days I will be going to Switzerland to celebrate Christmas with my family, and Petra didn't decide yet when she will come, so we will see, but I'll go a little bit earlier. And she was saying to me once, "I miss you already." And I was like, that is actually true. It's something very interesting, because whenever we plan to go somewhere, our attention goes there to that place. And when our attention is there, our energy is there. And it can be that we already leave partially to that new place, but our body is still physically here. And it could feel like you might miss somebody because they are already going to that new place.
You already know how it feels. You anticipate the future because it happened so many times that you already know how to feel.
And Dr. Joe also says that when we leave the ballroom, our energy is still there on the chair where we were sitting the day before, because we have been there, so our energy is still there, and it affects what we're doing outside of the ballroom, also in the ballroom. And it's something like really, really interesting, that I go somewhere and I'm already partially
Your print
there.
is there, yeah.
It's like a dematerializing and rematerializing. And at one point my body is physically in that place. It's like a flash, you know, you close your eyes, you go to sleep, next morning you wake up, oh my gosh, I'm here.
But we also made an experiment with thermal camera. We basically tried to walk somewhere, and then we shooted it with thermal camera, and then we actually saw that we were really long time not there, and the footprints were still there. And it's like light, and it's like slowly, gently vanishes. Where does it go? When it's there, and now it's not there, where did it go? What happened with that light, which was really there? You could see it on the picture. And where is it now? And is it gone because you can't see it with your eyes? Or is it always there and everywhere? Because we don't have just capability to see it, you know? We never know.
The traveling is something very weird, that we sit in that metal tube and then in 10 hours we are somewhere completely else, different culture, different people, different climate. It is something so weird. It's a different dimension. And I feel it kind of takes the body and the consciousness a little moment to fully go from that place to the other place. Like it's already going a little bit ahead and it's still a little bit in the past, but it takes a little something to fully materialize in that new place.
But if we go to the same place, we materialize much quicker when we go to the same place.
Yeah, right.
We know, oh, I've been here, I buy this usually, this is my favorite cookie here, you know, and you are already familiar, like you have these anchors. And there,
for example, when we were going to Cancun the first time, it was not that easy to tune into being there because we have never been there. It was something new. So we were looking at the photos and stuff from the hotel, so we can actually maybe picture us. Oh, we could be here at the pool. But it's a little bit more difficult, and sometimes I feel like it's impossible for me to imagine me or to put my energy into a new place and then it ends up also not working out in the end. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like imagining me going to somewhere, to a different country, and I just can't really tune into that. I can't really get me there with my consciousness.
Okay.
And then it also doesn't end up happening. I don't go there. Something is coming in between.
Or I tuned so much to go to massage, and my massage therapist injured his hand, so I had to cancel the massage. And you know, when you go to massage, you can't eat anything what makes you bloated, and you have to eat a little bit less and drink a little bit less before the massage, so you can enjoy it. I want to pee in between, you know, and during the process and so on. And then he informed me that there is no massage, and I'm like, yeah, a whole day I dedicated to go to the massage, because it's just not just that I go for something, you know. It's not something normal, and also it's hard for the brain.
It creates like a cut of your reality, like your energy was already there, and then it's just being ripped out, that possibility.
I counted on this.
Yeah.
How come I'm not having it? And then my brain is like, oh my gosh, let's make up something quick. What can be as a substitute
so it
good
wasn't
enough?
for nothing to travel here.
Yeah.
But I can sense it and see it more from a spiritual perspective now, of energy and consciousness, than just like you know, that's the fact, and you travel here, so you're here.
Yeah.
Right now you're here, so you're here. No, part of me is already in Switzerland.
Yeah, I think it's really great, and it's great to miss each other, sort of like miss each other, take each other, put each other apart, because then we basically see a different person. When I see you in a few days, I can't, like, what's new about this person,
right.
you know? And you see, hey, she got younger, and
Was she always this hot?
She's hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our story for now, because we are feeling that it's very cool to just share with you what we are going through, because it's ours, and you might be inspired from it. And we don't have to make up any crazy teachings and teach you how to manifest and so on. I think everybody already knows how to do that. And it's not always time to manifest, you know. You don't want that many things in life to manifest, so why people still have
That's
to?
actually something that we are working on now in creating the course, because we are constantly, we want to create something and step into the future. You know, it's also a theme of this channel.
And theme of this lifetime, basically.
We're never really arriving where we are at and actually appreciating and loving our life as it is now. So that's the course that we are currently working on, that we will hopefully very soon be able to share with you.
And funny thing about manifesting, it could be if you want to go somewhere for vacation, or if you want to do something which you're dreaming about, there has to be something in that reality which will be a little tiny challenge for you. There can't be everything perfect. So maybe it will be a surprise for you, and you can just await it with a little open heart.
And a little silliness.
A little silliness. Oh, that's this troubles which you are waiting here. Like, for example, in Cancun, it was a little bit of mosquito here and there, or it was a little bit of little bit more people, or one year we had it quite rainy. One year,
I think actually it's pretty much always when you travel somewhere, you can expect the unexpected, and it's our response to it. That's, for example, my brother has a really hard time with it if things don't work out the way he planned. He was going to Southeast Asia, and I knew it a little bit there, and he had it also totally planned. I was like, don't do that, just be open, book everything there. And of course things didn't work out, and it was a horrible trip. I don't think he wants to go back there again. But I also feel that when it's something that is like an evolution of our process, when it was like our first Cancun retreat, that was really
That was a very big evolution.
A huge quantum jump.
Yeah.
And it also required a huge challenge to it where we really questioned ourselves, shall we just cancel it all?
Yeah, it was like between Harry Potter, where Train didn't appear and appeared in front of us, right in front of our eyes. It was
weird
like
things.
Between Harry Potter and unlimited shopping spree, which was paid because my suitcase didn't arrive. And I was forced with my jet lag and all new inputs in everywhere. I was forced to buy things
to go shopping
for me because I had to make sure that when I will be on my period and the event will start, I'll have no time. I knew that I'll have no time to take care of any clothes or anything. So I had to go and shop really smartly. I had to think. I had to turn all the things on in my brain, all those softwares. So yeah,
had to function.
It had to go. It had to squeeze it out, and we did it. It happened. It was yeah. There
were a lot of challenges, but there were also a lot of really cool synchronicities where things just like magically worked out.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, it's always like that you realize that there is no other chance that it will work out. Or otherwise you will sit on the airport and wait until it works out. You meet somebody or something will come into your mind and it will then work. Because, yeah. So this is always with traveling everywhere. Yes. We very much enjoyed this talking to you right now. And when I was sick, I was actually very inspired from Dr. Joe's healings, and I would like to share with you how could you do this for yourself in your own home without paying anybody, contacting anyone, and I'll share a little steps how to do this in our next video.
Thank you so much for being with us, and don't ever forget that you're unlimited. If you would like to share some more time with us, we also have this video here for you next.